Hello, good morning and welcome to the latest video. I just got back from 55-ish mile ride. I'm tight. I raced a crit very late last night. Didn't get much sleep last night and a lot of my muscles are very tight and sore, and I know I need to stretch. We all know we don't stretch enough. And as much as I'd like to say I stretch after every single ride, I'd probably be lying. I don't, but when I feel tight, I do, and this is one of those days. So I thought I'd show you the main stretches that I do post-ride, to give you your kind of best bang for your buck, I guess. So just pulling in now, gonna get the yoga mat out and show you through a few stretches. Right, we're going to start in a seated position. Wait. First things first, sort your priorities out, get your kit off, get clean, feel somewhat normal, then stretch.
I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you. I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you. I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you. I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you. I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you. I know you wanna come and get it, I'ma give it to you.
Yeah, I took a little break from traffic and freight.
Right then, showered, changed, and ready to do some stretches. I'm going to just run through some of the key stretches which I would kind of prioritize. The main thing with stretching for cycling is more you do and the longer you hold the stretching for, the better position you're going to be in to become more flexible and less injury prone. The longer that you hold a stretch for, the more compliant it's going to be and the more flexible you're going to become. We have to be mindful though that unlike gymnastics, flexibility is not a priority as a cyclist. It isn't one of the defining factors for performance on a bike. However, it will dramatically improve your bike fit, it will massively reduce the risk of injury, and typically improve your general sensation and form in terms of pedaling dynamics as well. In terms of general rules of thumb for stretching, never stretch a cold muscle. In terms of timescales, this little routine that I'm going to do now only takes 10 minutes. And I've made it short because I'm mindful that most people listening to this video will be time restricted athletes and not be full-time professionals. The main thing we're trying to do with these stretches is to counteract what's happening on the bike. So if you think about a cycling posture, it's very anterior dominant. We are in this forward length position with a lot of flexion at the hip, a little bit of a rounding of the spine, and everything is forward. Now if you think as well, if you've got a desk job and your only form of activity is cycling, then you spend the vast majority of your day in this flexed anterior dominant position. So what we're trying to do with these flexibility exercises is basically counteract any tightness that we would get from that type of posture. So yeah, I'm going to run through 4 different stretches. So the first one is a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to start on our knees. We're going to bring one foot forward, come up into this position here. Try and keep your shoulders as far back as you can and your hips forward. So if you are in this position, you won't feel the stretch on where we're trying to get it. So what we're trying to do is force the hips forward, and you'll find a point where you feel a lot of tightness in the front of the hip. So if I swivel round, in this position here, we're forcing the hips forward, and you'll feel tightness at the front of the hip here. Force that forward until it's moderately uncomfortable for that tightness. hold it for 10 seconds until it starts to ease a little bit, and then push forward again. You're going to change the foot forward. Now, so just to show you that from another angle, like this, forcing the hips forward. The further forward your hips, the more of a stress you're going to get on this hip flexor, which is what we're after. So there is an advanced version of this stretch where we're going to get in this position as we were, and all we're going to do is grab hold of this rear foot with this right hand. So grab hold of the foot, back into that position, keeping the hips as far forward as you can, chest back. Hold that position. The third level, if that second one isn't demanding enough, is essentially exactly the same position, back into this with that hand, but you're also grabbing that foot with the other hand as well, and you're going to pull that heel, this heel, into your bum. Try and get that to touch your bum while still hips forward, chest back. At this point, pause the video, go on to the other leg. I'll just reinforce the point. The longer you hold these stretches for, the better. So if you have half an hour to be dedicated to these stretches, and you can hold each stretch for a minute, 2 minutes, that's great. If you've only got 5-10 minutes, hold the stretch for 15 seconds or so, and that will suffice. Stretch number 2 is a glute stretch. Nice and simple. We're going to sit on our bums, we're going to cross our legs, bring this foot over, and all we're going to do is hug our leg as close as we can to our body. So if done correctly, you'll feel a nice pull around the back of here. Now to make it stretch more, lean forward into a little bit. So essentially you're trying to bring this leg round as much as you can while keeping quite tall in the spine. Release, and then you can go and do the foot. Crossing over, grabbing hold, pulling it into the body, and leaning forward ever so slightly. If you don't feel a stretch in your glute, lean forward a little bit more. Keep taller in your back though, so we're pivoting at our pelvis, keeping tall in the spine, elongated in the spine, and push into it. Bring this shin as close to your body as you possibly can. The next stretch is one to really help with your back and your posture. Now if you think a lot of the time as cyclists we are spent in this hunched over position, what we're going to do with this stretch is specifically open that up. So what we're going to do for this one is lie on our fronts and extend ourselves up. So legs back on all fours. We're just going to drop our pelvis to the floor like that, trying to keep our arms fully extended. Now if you can't get your pelvis to the floor while your arms are extended, then let yourself come down and just push up as much as you can. If you can only get halfway, that's fine. If you can get fully extended, that's even better. And we're just going to spend 10 seconds like this, or until you get some discomfort. So some people who do spend a lot of time in spinal flexion won't respond well to much spinal extension. If you think about all of those vertebrae locked into each other, and over time those vertebrae, as they're spending too much time in flexion, they will essentially get acclimatized to that position. So when we're doing the opposite of that and doing an extended position, it won't be very accustomed to that, and it takes a little bit of moving around. Obviously you never want to cause too much pain or discomfort, so just take it to what is right. A little bit of pain is okay, but if it's causing too much pain, you've gone too far. If you get any discomfort, just come down, give yourself a little break, then go back up again. They were my top post-ride stretches. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, never stretch a cold muscle. Prioritize what you need post-ride. Don't necessarily just come back from a ride and be there in your sweaty gear doing your stretches. Take your time, have a shower, have some food if you need it, and then get on and do them. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and see you again next time.